good year of solid progress behind you, Joe. Visitor numbers up by about 6%, and market share gain. That was very important and great to see in 2011.
Yeah, it was a good year. It probably turned out to be a better year than we had hoped even at the beginning of last year. It was a year of two halves. The early part of the year and the peak season was very, very good. There was a fairly steep fall off in the latter part of the year because of a downturn in confidence here in the United States. But most satisfying is what you've referred to, and that is the market share gain. And that really was very, very significant. We probably have near enough to our highest ever market share in terms of the travel market to Europe from the United States.
That's very encouraging. And of course, the big question, I suppose, has that slowdown continued into the first month of this year, or are we expecting a bit of a pickup?
No, I suppose to answer the question, I'll just ask, why did we gain market share and why did we have the good year? And really there are three fundamentals. The first is that we are lucky enough to have a really good brand. Everybody wants to go to Ireland someday. All international travellers have Ireland on the list. So the job remains to convert those people to go. The second reason, and it's not a small reason, is that the feedback from people who have been to Ireland is excellent. Like, the product really delivers. And when you add the fact that it's now offering great value, it means that virtuous circle of past visitors spreading the word is very, very good.
Sure.
But the third reason is that Ireland stayed with it. The tourism industry and the two governments that fund tourism in Ireland stayed with the market, whereas other destinations actually pulled out. So those three things, the strong brand, the good product and the good experience, and the fact that we keep up the promotional effort here is what has caused us to gain market share.
Sure.
So the problems and the challenges that are facing us next year have more to do with the state of mind of would-be travellers rather than any Ireland-specific problems, if you know what I mean. And I'm glad to say that all the feedback from our partners is that the factors which caused the slowdown in the latter part of last year have actually improved. The US economy has shown serious signs of recovery in important things like the jobless rate. Consumer confidence and consumer spending have improved towards the very end of the year and in the early part of this year. And travel sentiment has improved.
And of course the dollar has gained in recent months.
Yeah, and the dollar has also gained. The dollar is now stronger. So that gives us an important added value message. We're basically able to say, and your dollar will go further when you're on vacation in Ireland.
Sure. So the 5.5% growth target that you've set yourself, while it's early days, you'd be reasonably confident is what I'm hearing.
No, I would have to caution, Eamon, and say that because we had a good year, and for much of it, one of the best years ever. Some of the quarters that we had last year were among the strongest that we've ever had from this part of the world. But that shouldn't in any way suggest that we're out of the woods or that there's some sort of an automatic momentum there. There is no automatic momentum. We're going to have to fight very, very hard. And there is no doubt that a target of 5.5% is a stretch target. It is very ambitious, and it won't happen unless we work very hard for it. But it is not unrealistic. We can do it if we do the right things, if we press the right buttons, and if we remind people of what they're missing by not going to Ireland on vacation. Then we have a good chance of getting that 5.5%.
Sure. 2011 or 2012 rather, year of the Titanic. Northern Ireland are expecting a rate boost from that. How do you see that? Do you think that will happen for them?
I suppose, Eamon, when you've had a good year as we've had in 2011. There's always the danger that people will sit on the laurels and sort of wait for the business to come in. But yet again, what is actually happening on the ground indicates that the tourism industry is not sitting on its laurels. And Northern Ireland 2012 is a great example of that. There's a program of events, apart from Titanic, and Titanic has a great romance and a great brand here, and we're going to have one of the best visitor experiences in the world in Belfast with the new Titanic Centre. And it's going to be great for the whole island of Ireland. We have the new visitor centre at Giant's Causeway, which will be open during the year. But we also have a programme of events in Northern Ireland throughout the year, Northern Ireland 2012, Your Time, Our Place. And that's absolutely fantastic and a great example of the tourism industry sort of not taking things for granted, but giving would-be visitors more reasons to actually go. And the gathering would be in the same vein. The gathering
tell us a little bit about the gathering. You'll be launching that relatively soon out here.
We will. There'll be what we call a soft launch around the time of St. Patrick's Day, when there's a lot of attention focused on Ireland, so we'll start telling people of it. We have to walk a tightrope here. We don't want to in any way say put off your trip until 2013 when the gathering is on. So we have to get 2012 into the under our belts before we do that. But yeah, we will soft launch it around the time of St. Patrick's Day, when there's so much great attention and positive attention on Ireland. But the programme is now being developed, structures have been set up, and it will be a fantastic series of added reasons why people should come to Ireland. And I believe that the very ambitious targets that have been set, again, are stretch targets. But if we don't have those stretch targets, then we won't reach them.
Sure.
And I'm quite confident that when the promotional programme starts, which will be really around September of this year, when that starts in earnest, it will catch the imagination.
Yeah.
It will persuade people to take Ireland off that one-day list.
Sure.
And decide to go because of the events of the gathering.
Great. Well, a lot of good work done, Joe. A lot of good results achieved, and a very busy programme of activity planned for the next few months. So, well done to you and all your colleagues out here. Let's hope that you meet those targets, looks as if you will.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Eamon. As I keep on saying, you know, the job of promoting tourism to Ireland is far too important to leave to Tourism Ireland. And if there's one of the proofs of the fact that we have such a hungry and ambitious industry, it is the huge level of input and support and involvement by the tourism industry, both the tourism industry here in the marketplace, but also the tourism industry on the island of Ireland. And the menu of promotional opportunities that we have put before them is in many instances already oversubscribed for the year. So we have a very energised, energetic industry who realise that the business won't come in, that we have to work very hard for it.
Great. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Evan.